They break you without you ever noticing it happening. It is not always a loud explosion or an obvious threat. Sometimes it is a slow erosion of your sanity, disguised as love, concern, or even confusion. If you've ever felt like you are losing your mind in a relationship with your own mother, you are not alone. And more importantly, you are not crazy today. We're stripping away the masks. This is about recognizing the patterns before they become your permanent reality. This is defense training for your soul. Let us get to the truth. The first thing you need to realize is that a toxic mother doesn't always start with a scream. She starts with a smile. This is the charm offensive. It is a deliberate flood of affection, helpfulness, and perfect behavior designed to disarm you. Imagine you've been distant because she crossed a boundary. Suddenly, she is dropping off your favorite meal, offering to pay your car insurance, and telling everyone how proud she is of you. It feels like she has finally changed, right? That is the trap. The psychology here is simple: reciprocity. When someone is overwhelmingly nice, your brain feels a social debt to be nice back. You lower your guard, and that is exactly when the manipulation begins. You stop looking for the knife because you are too busy looking at the gift. Watch for red flag phrases like, "I just want us to be a happy family again. After everything I've done for you lately, you are still cold," or "I am only doing this because I love you so much." To defend yourself, remain polite, but emotionally neutral. Do not let the gifts buy your silence. If the kindness comes with strings attached, it is not a gift, it is a leash. Consistency is the only metric that matters. If the charm only appears when you are pulling away, it is a tactic, not a transformation. Stay grounded in the reality of her long-term patterns, not her short-term performance. When you finally get the courage to confront a toxic mother about her behavior, she will likely reach for her favorite weapon, pretend confusion. This is an Oscar-winning performance where she acts completely baffled by your words. You say, "Mom, it hurt when you criticized my weight in front of my friends." She responds with a blank stare and says, "I have no idea what you are talking about." When did I say that? You are making things up. By playing dumb, she forces you to become the teacher. You waste 30 minutes explaining basic human decency while she nods blankly, effectively exhausting you until you drop the issue. The psychological mechanism here is gaslighting by omission. If she pretends the event didn't happen, or that she is too simple to understand, she never has to apologize. Listen for phrases like, "I don't remember that. You are using such big words to confuse me." Or, "What do you even mean by that?" Your defense move is to refuse to explain. If you've stated the boundary once, that is enough. Say, "I've made my position clear. I am not going to debate the facts of what happened." When you stop trying to make her understand, she loses her power to drain your energy. Toxic mothers often use positivity as a silencer. This isn't about being optimistic. It is about shaming you for having any emotion that isn't convenient for her. This looks like you coming to her with a genuine problem. Maybe you are depressed or stressed, and her responding with, "Well, at least you have a roof over your head." Stop being so negative. It is a way to invalidate your internal reality, so she does have to deal with the messiness of your actual life. She wants a good vibes only daughter or son because your pain makes her look like a bad mother. The psychology is pure invalidation. By labeling your pain as negativity or weakness, she makes you feel like the problem is your attitude, not her behavior. Red flag phrases to trigger your alarm include, "Just stay positive." "You are bringing the whole mood down." Or think about how lucky you are compared to others. To defend against this, validate yourself externally. Your feelings are data, not bad vibes. When she tries to force a smile on your face, realize you don't owe her a performance of happiness. Tell yourself, "My discomfort is real, and I have a right to feel it, regardless of her comfort level." Just when you are ready to set a hard boundary, she hits you with a tragic story from her past. This is strategic vulnerability. She shares a trauma or a health scare specifically to trigger your empathy and make you feel like a monster for being upset with her. It is hard to stay mad at someone who is so broken. You might hear, "I never told anyone this, but my mother treated me so much worse," or, "I am just so lonely, and I don't know how much time I have left." This works because your empathy is being hijacked. You feel a protective urge to take care of her, which effectively flips the roles. You become the parent, and she becomes the child. This is called parentification. Watch for phrases like, "You are the only person who truly knows me." "I am so fragile right now." Or, "My life has been one long tragedy." Recognize that her past trauma, while it may be real, is not a valid excuse for her current abuse. Your defense: "I am sorry you went through that, but it doesn't change how we need to handle this situation today." Keep the focus on the present behavior. Do not let her history become your cage. Identity erosion is perhaps the most dangerous tactic because it is so slow you don't notice it until you look in the mirror and don't recognize the person staring back. A toxic mother will subtly chip away at your choices. She hates your new friends, she mocks your hobbies as just a phase, and she questions your career goals. Over time, you start second, guessing yourself before you even make a move. You think, "What would Mom say about this?" instead of, "What do I want?" The psychology here is to create total dependency. If she destroys your confidence in your own judgment, you will always come back to her for approval. You become a hollowed-out version of yourself that she can fill with her own expectations. Alarm bell phrases include, "That is not really like you." "You be changed so much lately, and not for the better." Or, "The real you wouldn't. Wear that." To defend your identity, you must cultivate a secret garden. Keep certain parts of your life, your goals, your friends, your passions, entirely separate from her. Don't ask for her opinion on things that define you. Rebuild your sense of self by making small, independent choices and proving to yourself that the world doesn't end when she disagrees. Catastrophizing is how a toxic mother keeps you in a state of constant high alert. She takes a minor disagreement or a small mistake and turns it into a family-ending disaster. If you forget to call her back for 2 hours, she is worried sick or having a heart attack or claiming you don't care if she dies. This creates a walking on eggshells environment where you are constantly managing her emotions to prevent the next explosion. The psychological goal is control through fear. If every small action could lead to a catastrophe, you will eventually stop taking any action at all without her permission. You become paralyzed by the potential for drama. Red flag phrases. "This is the worst thing you've ever done." "You've ruined our entire holiday," or "I can believe you would do this to me after everything." Your defense is to refuse to match her energy. When she goes to level 10, you stay at level 1. Do not adopt her crisis as your own. If she says you've ruined everything, respond calmly, "I am sorry you feel that way, but I am going to give you some space to calm down." Disengage from the drama loop. If there is no audience for her catastrophe, the performance eventually loses its value. You are not crazy, you are not too sensitive, and you are not a bad child for wanting to protect your peace. The tactics we've discussed today, the charm, the confusion, the forced positivity, they only work in the dark. By naming them, you've just turned the lights on. You now have a vocabulary for the things that used to make you feel hollow. This knowledge is your armor. You don't have to wait for her to change to start healing. Your life belongs to you, not to her expectations or her trauma. You have the right to set boundaries, the right to your own identity, and the right to walk away from any dynamic that requires you to shrink yourself to fit. Take this awareness and use it to build a life that feels like yours. You are stronger than the patterns that tried to break you. Look at how far you've come already. Who is the person you are becoming now that you know the truth?